Have you ever misplaced your keys, forgotten a name, or blanked on a piece of trivia you used to know by heart? You might be frustrated thinking, why does my brain keep failing me? But here's a surprising fact. Forgetting isn't a flaw at all. It's actually one of the brain's most powerful, intentional features. Today, we're diving into the science of why we forget, how this process keeps our minds healthy and efficient, and how forgetting even plays a role in shaping our identities. Why do we forget? Forgetting is far more than a brain malfunction. Imagine if you remembered every single detail, every face, fact, or place you've ever seen. It might sound useful at first, but in reality, it would be overwhelming. In fact, this hypothetical condition does exist, called hyperthymesia. People with hyperthymesia have near-perfect recall of every detail, and for them, this gift can often be a burden. The brain's built-in mechanism to forget things is essential to avoid information overload, making room for things that are truly relevant in our lives. Synaptic pruning. Decluttering the mind. In the brain, memories are stored through networks of neurons, where different connections called synapses hold the patterns of each memory. But memories aren't static. They're constantly evolving based on whether we use them or not. This is where synaptic pruning comes in. It's the brain's way of decluttering. When certain memories or connections aren't used over time, the brain weakens or eliminates those synaptic links, helping it stay efficient and adaptable. Studies show that synaptic pruning is especially active during childhood and adolescence, when the brain is learning at an accelerated rate. It's one of the reasons young brains are so adaptable, quickly learning new languages, skills, and social behaviors. But even in adulthood, this pruning continues, allowing the brain to shed unnecessary connections and focus on what's important in our daily lives. Short-term versus long-term memory. Memory is often divided into two categories: short-term and long-term. Short-term memory allows us to retain information for just a few seconds to a couple of minutes, while long-term memory can hold information for years or even a lifetime. Short-term memory and forgetting. Short-term memory, often called working memory, is limited. It's believed to hold about 7 items at a time, plus or minus 2. Think of short-term memory as a workspace where information is temporarily held. If it's deemed important, it may be transferred to long-term memory. Otherwise, it will likely fade. This system helps keep us focused on current tasks without cluttering our minds with every single thing we encounter. Long-term memory and forgetting. Long-term memory stores more significant, lasting memories. Interestingly, memories in this system are divided into explicit or conscious and implicit or unconscious memories. Explicit memories include facts and events, while implicit memories involve learned skills and habits. While we may keep long-term memories indefinitely, the brain still forgets, even some of these through processes like interference and decay. Decay. Theory: why some memories naturally fade. One common theory about why we forget, especially over time, is the decay theory. According to this theory, memories naturally fade when they aren't revisited. This process happens because the neural pathways that store these memories weaken when they're not actively used. Think of it like a path in the woods. If you walk it frequently, it stays clear. But if you stop using it, nature will eventually take over, and the path will disappear. This decay is especially true for short-term memories that haven't yet made it to long-term storage. Interference theory: how new memories affect old ones. Another explanation for forgetting is interference theory. According to this theory, memories interfere with each other, causing us to forget. There are 2 main types of interference. Proactive interference. Proactive interference happens when old memories make it harder to remember new information. For example, if you've had the same phone number for years, it can be challenging to memorize a new one because your brain wants to default to the number you already know. Retroactive interference, on the other hand, is when new memories disrupt our ability to recall old ones. If you've recently moved, you may start to forget your previous address because your brain is now focused on learning the new one. Both types of interference are essential in preventing us from becoming overwhelmed with unnecessary details and to ensure we keep what's relevant to our current situation. Stress can also play a significant role in how well we remember or forget things. In small doses, stress can help us focus and even improve memory in high-stakes situations. This is due to the release of cortisol, a stress hormone that temporarily enhances attention. However, chronic or extreme stress has the opposite effect. The effects of cortisol. When we're consistently stressed, high levels of cortisol can damage the hippocampus, a part of the brain heavily involved in memory formation and retrieval. Studies have shown that people with prolonged stress or anxiety may experience memory loss or difficulty recalling details. This is why, after stressful periods, we might feel mentally foggy or struggle to remember simple things. Why stress helps us. Forget non-essential details. While it may seem frustrating to forget small details during high-stress periods, this feature actually serves a survival function. In urgent situations, the brain prioritizes critical information and releases the trivial details. Think of it like a triage system in the ER. Only the essentials get top attention. Forgetting as a survival skill. Our brains aren't designed to remember every detail. They're designed to help us survive. From an evolutionary perspective, remembering the location of food, safe shelters, and dangerous areas was critical, but storing every detail from a day's experiences was not. Emotional or survival-related memories tend to be retained, while minor details are often forgotten. This prioritization helps keep us sharp, focused, and ready for any challenges that come our way. The role of the amygdala. Emotional memories are prioritized in part due to the amygdala, the brain's emotion processing center. When we experience strong emotions, the amygdala tags those memories as significant, which makes them more likely to be stored long-term. This is why we remember traumatic events, joyous milestones, or moments of intense embarrassment, even though we forget what we had for breakfast last Tuesday. Selective memory as a mental health tool. Our brains naturally downplay mundane memories, which allows us to focus on significant life events. This is crucial for mental health as well. Studies show that people who focus on negative memories without positive reframing may experience depression or anxiety. By allowing some memories to fade, our brains help maintain a balanced, resilient perspective on life. How to influence. Forgetting. Tips to let go of unwanted memories. While forgetting may feel outside of our control, researchers have found ways to help people reduce the impact of unwanted memories. Here are a few techniques backed by science. Thought redirection. Every time we think about a memory, we reinforce it. Redirecting our thoughts when an unwanted memory surfaces can gradually weaken it over time. Practicing mindfulness can be a helpful way to train this technique. Visualization techniques. Visualization can also help ease the impact of memories. By imagining unwanted memories as dim, fading images, or visualizing them floating away, we can lessen their emotional weight. Some therapists even guide patients to shrink memories in their minds as a form of mental distancing. Memory reconsolidation. Each time we remember something, our brain resaves it, meaning that memories are fluid and can be edited. If you recall a difficult memory while in a neutral or safe context, you may gradually reduce its emotional power. Over time, this process can help reshape or lessen memories, making it easier to move on. The benefits of forgetting. Why it's good for you. Forgetting isn't just a necessary inconvenience, it has real benefits. Cognitive efficiency. By letting go of trivial memories, we make room for the information and skills that help us succeed in the present. This efficiency allows our brains to focus on what's most relevant, from learning new skills to solving complex problems. Mental flexibility and adaptation. Forgetting keeps our minds adaptable. When we clear out outdated memories, we're better able to learn and adjust to new situations, essential for success in our ever-changing world. Emotional resilience. Letting go of negative memories can help us avoid dwelling on past mistakes or reliving painful experiences. Our brain's tendency to move on supports mental health and helps us remain forward-focused, ultimately enhancing our emotional well-being. The future of forgetting. Research and applications. With advances in neuroscience, researchers are exploring even more ways to understand, manage, and possibly control forgetting. Techniques like memory reconsolidation therapy and selective memory suppression are currently being studied for their potential to help people suffering from PTSD, phobias, or chronic negative thoughts.
Selective forgetting and PTSD treatment. For individuals with PTSD, the ability to dampen traumatic memories could be life-changing. Techniques like eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR, and reconsolidation therapy aim to reframe or neutralize intense emotional memories. Neurostimulation and memory control researchers are also exploring how targeted brain stimulation might help manage memory. By applying electrical currents to specific brain areas, it may be possible to enhance or reduce memory recall, potentially leading to treatments that address memory issues from trauma to age-related memory loss. The bottom line: forgetting isn't a flaw. It's one of the brain's most sophisticated tools, allowing us to remain efficient, adaptable, and emotionally resilient. Next time you forget something small, don't worry. It's just your brain's way of protecting and prioritizing what matters most. This feature of forgetting doesn't just help us live in the moment. It shapes our identities, frees us from the clutter of trivial memories, and empowers us to focus on what truly matters. So embrace the power of forgetting. In a world that demands constant learning and adaptation, your brain's ability to let go may be one of its greatest strengths.